Hello and welcome to another Reaconteur video, and in today's video I want to talk about the absolute insanity that is Deepwoken players. Make sure to subscribe since only about 20% of the people watching this video right now are actually subscribed. And also I'm currently live on Twitch, so come check me out over there when you're done with this video, and now let's get straight into it. First of all, I'm not done screaming about my Twitch link. I'll do it for important streams more so than casual ones from now on to give your ears a break, but if I've got a big stream coming up or I'm doing something really fun, I'm gonna scream it, so deal with it. Anyway, this video is about Deepwoken players and how not so smart many of them are, because a lot of them are pretty dumb. So I'll be splitting them up into categories and talking about some specific people I've seen in my comments, and you know, I'll explain what is wrong with them. The first person I want to talk about specifically from my comments has commented on multiple videos being an absolute moron. The first comment was on the video "ROBLOX players are insane." Now I know that's a ROBLOX video, but he is a Deepwoken player, which I'll talk about later. And anyway, in that video I talked about ROBLOX players using the straw man fallacy and arguments about why the bazaar in that game, which is a system that lets people sell items for real Robux, was a bad system. Now the straw man fallacy is an argumentative fallacy where you distort someone's argument or pick apart small pieces of it, kind of like pulling out small pieces of straw, which would eventually cause a straw man to fall apart. Now the comment this commenter left was, "This is such a Reddit take. The take being that letting people sell in-game items for Robux is a bad idea." So yeah, apparently that's a Reddit take, that they're kind of, you know, legalizing and monopolizing black markets. And then he continues with, "You complain about strawman arguments, but then use a strawman argument by saying that the average ROBLOX player is 14 years old. If you don't know what a word means, don't use it. That's not a strawman. At best, it's an insult, which is ad hominem. I know it's a stupid name, but some nerd 150 years ago said, let's call insults in an argument ad hominem to sound special." Right? It's stupid. Now, the entire point of that video was talking about why the bazaar was bad and could lead to being a worse system down the line if the game were updated regularly and actually became as popular as it was supposed to be. Because everyone was like, oh, this is the Deepwoken killer. It's not the Deepwoken killer. The game's kind of down a lot of players right now. It's only got a couple thousand on at most. Now, along with that, the point of me saying that the average ROBLOX player is 14 years old wasn't even irrelevant to the point I was making, because the point I was making was that kids are kind of impressionable and a little bit dumb, so given the chance, yeah, they'll probably buy items from the shop for Robux if they don't know how to get them themselves. Now, the items are expensive and people are like, oh, kids can't afford that because it's like 2,000, 3,000 Robux. Dude, my like 13-year-old cousin has headless and core blocks on her account. I don't know how. That's like $600 in Robux. Where is she getting this from? That's like every kid nowadays. So if you're saying kids can't afford that, yes, kids can afford that. I don't know how, but they just have an infinite supply of Robux, probably from mommy's credit card. Now, I responded by saying, it's not a straw man, and I said, it's ad hominem, which is insulting someone in an argument. So here's more of it, you're an idiot. Some more shit goes by and I tell him YouTube isn't my job, so he calls me a Nepo baby finance major. Now, I don't know why you are assuming stuff about me in the comments when you don't know a single thing about me. I'm not a finance major. I went to culinary school before starting my own financing firm with connections I had through there along with my personal accountant, all paid for on my own with my money through jobs or loans. I didn't have any help. So assuming stuff about me doesn't make you look any better. Then a few days ago, as of writing this script that is, because it's a while ago, the same person comments on another video talking about how my take on the Shrine of Order is correct, but he doesn't like me as a person. You do not know me as a person. None of you watching this know me as a person. In these videos, I play a character and I exhibit certain traits on purpose. Along with that, to the guy who left that comment, you don't dislike me as a person, you dislike the response I gave you for leaving that comment because you were being a dick. I was mirroring the trait of you being a dick because you're a dick, right? Then he said something about how I don't have a real job and I have soft hands. Please let me know what constitutes a real job, because I work 70 hours a week on average doing market research and profit loss stopping on the back end, right? And I was averaging like 90 when I first started. I just do less work now because I'm more established. I don't do manual labor, but I do more and will continue to do more because that's just how I am. And if you want to go with manual labor, at that, I do unpaid manual labor, because last weekend, this is something that I like to do sometimes, I go to Maine. There's this farm I like in Maine, I know the owner, and I sleep on the farm, I do farm work for 3 days out of the week, and then I just get to play with horses. So I'm doing farm work, I'm playing with horses, I'm working with horses. I do actual farm work when I'm bored. If I get tired of the city in New York, where I live, I leave and I do farm work so I can get a different environment. So I don't know what your point about soft hands is, because I'm doing this for free out of my own accord because I like it, and then I have my own job, and then I'm making a game, and then I run 4 YouTube channels. 4 YouTube channels, I record, I write, I edit, I make thumbnails. If you want to take all of that as work, then I probably average like 100 hours a week of work, right? Now, I don't consider most of those things work because I enjoy most of those things and they're not really taxing or strenuous on me because I like writing, I like recording, I like editing, I like streaming, I like all that stuff, right? And then on top of that, I like working with the horses and doing farm work and stuff like that. And then my job is, it's all right, you know? It's a lot of reading and writing and compiling information and watching graphs for about 7 hours a day, but it's still work, so I don't know what constitutes a real job. But if you want to let me know down in the comments below, I would love for you to tell me what a real job is. This is poor rage bait, and before you respond, if it's poor rage bait, why are you making a video on it? Because I can. And if anything, you just got content baited, because look at this. I just got 4 minutes out of talking at it, you dumbass. So please, get a job and stay out of my comments, you trash. Now, the next category of fan who likes commenting that I don't like are those of you who are just desperate for my attention. Why do I have actual fans with hundreds of comments on all my videos commenting actual rage bait for a response? I already read every comment on every video and I heart them and I reply to lots of them. You're just annoying when you like respond with something and you leave a comment and I think it's a hate comment and then I respond to it like trying to see your point of view, calling you wrong, right? And then you're like, whoa, Unk, don't crash out, man. Why? Are you that desperate for my attention? From now on, I'm gonna start checking the comment history of people leaving hate comments because some of you guys are just annoying. And then I've got new YouTube accounts that I know are made by fans just throwing out the most insufferably boring rage bait. It's like terrible video, 0 out of 10, hate you on every single video. I know you're a fan. You are very clearly a fan. No actual hater is gonna watch all my videos to comment on that. I know that you're a fan. It's just annoying. Now, okay, other than those types of people, right? Just the ones that are blatantly annoying. My least favorite member of the Deepwoken community is the one who ignores all of my arguments in a video and just says dumb stuff, right? Let me read a comment to you all real quick. This is a little bit of a long one, but it goes something like this. Bro just yapped for 5 minutes without actually giving any constructive criticism. 10 minutes of straight up brain melt. Whenever a new game comes out, you make those clickbait titles and previews and proceed to yap for 10 minutes without explaining the real problems. Ass pulling non-existent issues and your entire fan base is biased towards you, and you will never admit that you are wrong. It's been that way since Deep Release, and I don't know if your whole channel is rage bait or if you're actually not capable of thinking bigger. This is one of the absolute most brain dead comments I've ever read in my entire life, okay? I have hundreds of video scripts that outright disprove everything you've said in this entire comment, because in every video I've ever made, I address a problem, talk about why it's currently a problem or maybe a bigger problem down the line in the game's lifespan, right? And I offer potential ways to address it properly from a game design perspective based on the genre of the game that would be ideal for development, as well as probably ideal for most of the community, resulting in positive community feedback. So please, let me know a singular time where I've made a video giving criticism on a game and have yapped for 10 minutes without explaining real problems. And if you can, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I will fly out to you and bring you $50,000 in cash. No questions asked. Now, with that being said, you can't, because clearly without Subway Surfers gameplay and animated subtitles, it's too hard for you to listen to a word I say, because that is literally the only possible way I could ever imagine you thinking I yap for 10 minutes without addressing problems and giving solutions. Genuinely. And I don't want someone pulling up some stupid like satirical lore video I used to make, because I have 2 lore series. I have the satirical lore series where I make fun of the Deepwoken lore, and I have the actual lore series where I talk about the Deepwoken lore. Don't bring out one of those and talk about how I said that the Duke should be one shot by bullets. That's stupid, okay? That's satirical. I want someone to find an actual video where I'm actually talking about problems and I am not discussing the problems and repeat myself for 15 minutes of brain melting yap without, you know, going over any actual problems or solutions. You can't. You literally just can't. Now, the next genre of commenter is the guy who's half decent at the game, so they think they're right. I get this a lot. I don't care if you're a God Seeker. I don't even care if you're top 10. I don't care if you're friends with multiple God Seekers who all disagree with me for various reasons. First of all, I don't know anyone outside of the top 10 players who I've talked to who disagree with me after hearing my points. It could be biased because I'm friends with them, but I don't talk to the ones who I'm not friends with, so yeah, a little bit biased. But, second of all, Being good at the game doesn't qualify you for talking about game design. There are key concepts within games and game genres which you don't understand just because you're half decent at the game. And every once in a while I get a comment from someone saying, but I'm friends with Godseekers who disagree with you and say you're wrong. I don't care. Your Godseeker friend isn't a valid source for development detail. He's good at pressing F and M1, not making games. And at that, a majority of actual high-ranking players are wild metamancers, and in general anyone who metamances too much and changes builds that often also isn't a good point of view for game design because they have no idea what's underpowered and needs positive balancing. They only need certain things need nerfs because they gravitate towards them. Then we also have the mods and testers. Some of them have crazy superiority complexes, and it's kind of funny how seriously they take their Discord roles. Now, not all of them, to my knowledge, not even most of them, but certain mods and certain testers are absolutely terrible people. I've seen testers just ego people in general for no reason, and it's really funny because half of the testers are adamant that they are in fact testing the game, but then the other half of the testers who actually are chill just say, nah, like, nah, they aren't testing the game, which, like, yeah, we know you're not really testing the game. But you can really tell, like, which testers are good and bad based on how realistic versus idealistic what they say is. Because the realistic testers who are like, yeah, we're not really doing that much, are usually the chill ones. But the idealistic ones who are like, oh, we're working super hard, we're finding bugs, this and that, those are the ones that you know are lying, and they're probably, you know, not the best type of people. And my absolute least favorite type of person is the one who doesn't read the patch notes, but then goes on to complain about them. So many people just want to complain because why the fuck am I seeing people who have never made a PvE build in their lives, never fought the Heart of Enmity, barely even fought outside the Chime of Conflict, complaining about the brick wall nerfs? First of all, for those of you who don't know, the only interaction which changes from the brick wall nerf is that if you're under 100 fortitude and 100 willpower, you must now parry or dodge the Shrine of Enmity stomp, and you can't tank it anymore. That is the only difference. You can't be as brain dead on PvE builds against one specific boss. You need to occasionally press one more button. And the people are acting like their builds are ruined. Please, for the love of everything, test it out. Maybe do anything at all. I have literally never felt a major difference in any game but one after a nerf. Literally the only nerf I have ever felt in any video game was the Guilty Gear Mei 3S nerf for her slide move, the kick that people use to 50-50 in corners. And that literally only changed one interaction in the corner. That's the only nerf I've ever felt. Also, Stark Serokodoson nerf in Type Soul, that one too. Regardless, 2 nerfs out of probably thousands I've been through among hundreds of video games, and I've only felt 2 nerfs in my entire lifetime. You guys really need to just try a little more and stop switching as soon as anything gets nerfed and actually read the patch notes and play with it. It's not that bad. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna give you guys one more little bit of info about the game I'm making. Progress is actually coming along pretty fast, you know, because I'm whipping my devs and paying them a lot of money. But I'm gonna give you guys my inspirations for this game. This is all you guys are gonna get from me from now on. No questions will be answered, nothing. My top inspirations for this game are Fear and Hunger 1 and 2, For Honor, Sekiro, Mirror's Edge, and Vinland Saga. That's all you guys are getting. Those are my top 5 inspirations. There's more, but those are definitely the top 5, and that's all you guys are getting as far as my game goes. Anyway, shout out to YouTube members Green, Brick, Pickle, Goobka, Highcard, and Drizzy Drake Fan. I love you all. Have an amazing day as usual, and goodbye.